Hey there, sister friends. Welcome to lesson number 1 inside of Girl Take the Leap. It's Sister Tesha here, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. Before we dig into this lesson, let's kind of set the stage for it, okay? So, in today's lesson, we're going to shine a light on something I affectionately call the mess. And you might be thinking, why are we digging into this, Sister Tesha? Well, before we can move forward, we need to recognize and we need to understand the roadblocks that have been slowing us down. So, by the end of our time here today, here's what I want for you. I want to bring awareness. So, that's the number one thing. I want you to be able to pinpoint those pesky limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. They've been hiding in the shadows for far too long, and it's time that we bring them to light. Number two, I want you to have an understanding. So I want you to grasp where those beliefs, those excuses, those habits, where did they come from? What is their origination? And sometimes, just understanding the root of the problem is half of the battle. And the third thing is empowerment. See, I want you to walk away feeling empowered, knowing that recognizing these limitations is the first crucial step to breaking free from them. Trust me, there is freedom in awareness, and we're about to tap into that. Now, we're also going to be referencing some wisdom from the Bible and drawing some parallels with our daily lives. But more than that, I'll be sharing some personal stories. But guess what? The reason why we do that is because I've been there. I've been in those shoes. And what I would like you to take away out of most anything is this: if Sister Tesha can break free, then so can you. All right. So, with an open heart and an eager spirit, let's go ahead and dig into understanding the mess. So by the time we wrap up, you're going to be one step closer to breaking those chains. All right. So let's get going. So when I say to you, the mess, you might be wondering, Sister Tesha, what in the world are you talking about? And so I want to let you know that I'm not literally, like I'm not talking about messy closets, although like my closet, it could use some tidying up. But no, not talking about that. I'm not talking about the clutter in our homes, but I'm talking about the clutter that's in our minds, those limiting beliefs, those excuses that we make, and those habits that keep us feeling stuck. I'm talking about something deeper, a little more hidden, but very prevalent in all of our lives, right? I'm talking about the thoughts that we have that have us second guessing our worth. They have us second guessing our potential, our limiting beliefs, the excuses we hide behind, and the habits that we have that don't serve our higher purpose. They don't serve what God has called us for. They don't serve the desires that He's placed into our hearts. So let's talk about it, break it down a little bit. So, limiting beliefs, what are those? What is that? Well, limiting beliefs are those nagging thoughts, those whispers that say, you can't. The ones that say, you're not good enough. The ones that say, people like you don't succeed. The ones that say, you're stupid. The ones that say, you're never going to get it. The ones that say, you're not worth that. And I'm sure that you can help me fill in the blanks, and we can just do it, etc. on here. Think about your own limiting beliefs. What are the tapes that come into your head? But these beliefs, sometimes they seem harmless because they are the thoughts that we have, and how they got there. We'll talk about that. But they're the thoughts that we have. And so they're normal for us, right? And so they can seem like they're harmless, right? But they do, and they are hindering us from pursuing our dreams and stepping into the divine purpose that God has for us. The desires that He has placed into your heart, they hinder us from walking in that. They are those deeply held convictions that we have about ourselves, the convictions that we have about our capabilities, the convictions that we have about the world that we live in. And most times they operate in the background. You ever hear something like a silent script playing over and over and over in the background? You ever hear like a noise that's happening in the background? And then also, what we want you to do is to wake up to that noise that's happening in the background. Imagine the noise playing in the background. It's ever so lightly. And then all of a sudden, your mind awakens to this noise, and you're like, what is that? So that's the thing that we want to happen with you, is you're saying, what is that? Listen, the Bible tells us in Second Timothy's, it says that, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. Now that should be empowering for each and every one of us, because we have been created for greatness, sis. But our belief systems, those tapes, those things, those are the things that hold us back from possessing all that God has for us. So where do these beliefs come from? Well, quite often they're rooted in our past experiences. Maybe someone told you you couldn't achieve something, or maybe there was a past failure that has you doubting your future success in something like that. There are society type pressures, cultural pressures that dictate how we should look, how we should feel, and how we should act. And these can manifest as deep-seated beliefs that govern our lives. They can be also be demonic, meaning that the devil or demons, whatever you want to call them, they often throw suggestions to you from the unseen realm. I hope that ain't too deep for y'all, but they throw suggestions to you from the unseen realm, and you hear them. Your spirit hears them. There are many voices in the world, is what the Bible tells us. We're not going to get too much into that piece of it in this course, but do know that we can get these limiting beliefs, those beliefs from all of those things that I have mentioned. Here's the real tea on it, though. No matter where they come from, no matter how they got there, we have to understand that when we internalize these beliefs, we unconsciously set boundaries for ourselves, not other people. We set it for ourselves. So instead of seeing a world that's full of opportunities, we see brick walls and we see barriers. And these are self-imposed barriers that prevent us from taking risks, from pursuing our dreams, or from even trying new things. And all in all, they keep our world small, and they keep the potential that we have untapped. Let's talk a little bit about excuses. So we have excuses. Oh, sis, we have all been there with the excuses. Some of the excuses is, I'm too old. I'm too young for that. I'm too fat for that. I'm too skinny for that. I'm not the right skin color. I'm not the right gender. I don't have the right resources. I didn't come up in the right background. I don't have the right education. Now is not the time. Those are some of those reasons, and you could probably help me come up with some others that we make for not taking the leap, for not starting the project, for waiting for someday, right? We've all been there, haven't we? I'll start when the kids get older, or I just don't have the time right now. I've been there, sis. I've been there more times than I care to admit. And while sometimes there may be some good reasons for not taking action, more often they're not. They're just protective mechanisms that we have. They keep us in our comfort zone. But remember, growth rarely happens inside of the comfort zone. So when we continually give into these excuses, we deny ourselves the chance to grow, the chance to learn, and the chance to evolve. Excuses, sister friends, often become the stories that we tell ourselves to justify our inaction. Just think about that. Am I justifying my inaction, or are these things that I have come up with, are they true and are they really valid, right? The next thing I want to talk about are habits. And so our habits aren't inherently bad, right? Habits aren't all bad, but the ones that pull us away from our goals and our God-given dreams and desires, those repetitive actions that we know aren't good for us, but we do them anyway, those are the ones that we want to tackle, that we want to talk about. Habits are repetitive behaviors that we've ingrained over time. So while good habits can push us forward, they can move us and propel us to the next level, to the next place of purpose. The not so good ones are going to stall or hinder our progress. And think about our habits like procrastination. Think about habits like constantly seeking external validation or even the negative self-talk. These repetitive behaviors can slowly eat at our confidence. They diminish our self-worth and they keep us from really achieving our God-given potential. Romans 12:2 talks about this beautiful message. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by what? By the renewing of your mind." Sis, it's an invitation really to change, to challenge those beliefs, to lay down those excuses, and to change those habits. Um, it is an invitation to renew and to refresh our mindsets in the light of God's word and in the light of the truth. Okay. So as we wrap up this lesson, I'd love to leave you with a little bit of reflection. Think about a limiting belief or an excuse that's been on your heart lately. Or maybe it's been a habit that's just not been serving you. Now, I want you to hold on to that. I want you to think about that. I want you to hold on to it because in our next lesson, we're going to be digging into that some more. We're going to be digging into the ways to confront and overcome them. So remember, sis, you are so much more than any limiting belief, any excuse, any habit. God has a purpose and a plan for you. And together with faith and love, sisterly love, we are going to step in to that purpose. It's Sister Tesha signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.